Hello everyone, and today I'm going to teach you how to draw like Yoji Shinkawa, the name that you probably heard before. If you ever play a game called Metal Gear Solid, you will see his art style on the front cover of the game. Or you might have seen his art recently from the ending key artwork of the Ghost in the Shell. So today we are going to draw just a simple character, a VTuber that I found that commissioned me. So I thought today, why not just make another art for her, for like a bonus art for her, like a fan art. To teach you how to draw this art style is a bit complicated, honestly. Have spent like maybe 2 or 3 years trying to replicate his art style, and to me it's very hard. It is not an easy art style. The very basic thing that you have to remember is that his art style is a very depending on human cognition itself. Basically a lot of negative space in the art itself that help to create illusion that there is something. And it also similar to the old Japanese inking technique. You might have seen some of it in the Ghost of Tsushima, some of the cutscene artwork. So if you remember that, that is pretty much how Yoji Shinkawa artwork is. The artwork I'm drawing right now is using this artwork right here as a reference. Now, as you can see that what I'm doing is basically just no sketching at all. I want you to treat your inking like a sculpture instead of line art. So what I'm doing is basically just creating a sketch, but remember that this is a digital form. What I do is that I basically just ink everything roughly, and then what I do at the end is that I use a transparent or eraser to basically delete some of the stuff that I don't like. Pretty much what I do is that I sculpting my artwork. There is so much era of Yoji Shinkawa. My favorite era of Yoji Shinkawa is from basically the one from MGS1 to MGS3. But recently with Death Stranding, I don't own the artbook for Death Stranding yet, but I plan to. There is a lot of amazing snapshot of that Death Stranding artbook that I would love to have because it's from Yoji Shinkawa. What I'm doing here is basically just trying to create a form of structure in the art itself. It's very hard to explain. I think I would love to go more in depth on how to draw like him. Basically, I would make an entire longer video about explaining about how he do stuff. I'm not very good at explaining it, so the best I could do is show you guys how I do it while also explaining what I'm doing. Now you can see that I deleted a lot of stuff right there. I delete the leg and basically just trying. I don't know, the proportion doesn't seem right to me. Alright, now that we are finished with the rough structure of our artwork, what I'm doing here is I'm going to pick a bigger size pen that I'm using. This brush that I'm using right here is given by another artist that use Yoji Shinkawa art style. I cannot give you this brush without his permission, but if you have a brush for inking like this, just go for it. You can even use watercolor brush. I've tried using a default brush before and it kinda works, so it's up to you to do in whatever brush you have. Now what I'm doing here after we finish doing that, I'm basically just filling out the dark spot of the inking here. Basically trying to ink the shadow and some of the form of the character itself. Like for example, I'm trying to make the abs of the suit from the MGS1 here more prominent. It doesn't look good right now, because we will go through all of this again using eraser or something like transparent tool to basically just wipe some of the area to make it like negative space. Basically just shifting things around. Again, I treat this artwork as a sculpture. That is how I see Yoji Shinkawa artwork. Obviously, he do everything just by eyeballing it, and he is much better at it. I will probably take 10 or 7 years maybe to actually master this art style, but As you can see, I'm drawing a leg here. The calf of the character is still a bit too big. Yeah, looking at this now in post editing is really hurt to see it, but if I would go back to this, I would maybe make her calf a bit smaller. Right now I'm just refining a bit of things like the hair near the face right here. As you can see, the mouth is a bit too low for me, so I made it a bit higher. It doesn't really matter if you want to move shift around, because it is not a unified form of line art, so people would not really notice what you actually moving, as long as there is no big line or anything like that. And with that, we finish our inking process. Alright, now it's time for the color. Now what I would do for the color is I will pick the one tool itself and then pick the outside layer, pick the outside selection, and then reverse it, and then it will select the entire thing within the character. But as you can see, the one doesn't really catch all the space because there is a lot of negative space here. So what I would do is follow the line that I want. It doesn't really have to be perfect, and you don't have to add another line or anything like that unless you want it. It is also doable because Yoji Shinkawa have artwork that doesn't have negative space, right? Like this one right here. So I'm filling up some of the spot that I want to have a color, and I don't want it to blend with the background. As you can see, the arm, the legs, the gun, and some of the area, except the right leg, because I want the right leg to be something like I want it to be blend into the white background itself, like the original artwork that I'm using as a reference here. Alright, now it's time for the shading. Now Yoji Shinkawa have a lot of style of coloring. It's honestly not really important for you to study any of them, because you can do a lot of stuff on your own. But for me, what I would do is I would grab the white color itself, and then what I would do is blend some of the white using the lighter gray color, basically to create like a highlight. Now if you're wondering why I'm using a grayish color here instead of actual color, you can, but I am a bit lazy and I want to finish this artwork a bit quicker. So what I'm doing right now is I'm going to add some of this black square right here. This is very Yoji Shinkawa signature of artwork, which is adding a black square behind the character. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use a gradient map. If you don't know what is gradient map is, you can watch my another video that I've just made. So the idea of gradient map is that when you have a dark and light pixel, basically gradient map job here is to fill a color between those. So if you want the darker pixel to be red, or you want the lighter pixel to be yellow, and as you can see, that is what I'm doing here, which is creating like a golden-ish color style right here, because the VTuber that I'm drawing right here actually have like a golden almost like very bright color palette. So that is how you draw Yoji Shinkawa's art style, as you can see. So I am not good at this style, but if you want to see more of my artwork, you can visit my portfolio here. In my portfolio here, you can see a bit more of this artwork, because as you can see, this artwork is not as good as my previous artwork. But in the future, I would love to create more videos so that I could teach people how to at least try make this art style, because I think Yoji Shinkawa art style is definitely one of the art style that is worth learning and preserving, because it's so unique, and especially his modern art style. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate everyone who watched this video. If you like, please comment, and if you have any feedback, please tell me. So thank you for watching.